Hi, this is H. Calero with another economic capsule under the voice of Heidie Calero. Today we are going to talk about the RSA, better known as the Restructuring Support Agreement for the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority. As you know, the public debt of this utility is about $8.3 billion, almost 12% of Puerto Rico's public debt. Back in 2015, Lisa Donahue renegotiated, or at least presented an RSA whereby bonds, let's say type A, would suffer a haircut of about 15%. That means 85 cents on the dollar for every dollar of bonds. Yet bonds type B, they would suffer no haircut, so they would be paid 100%. The current RSA, which was submitted in May 2019 and which has been undergoing more and more discussions, presents, as per the table that I'm going to show you now, that bonds, say type A, would suffer a haircut of 32.5%, that bonds B, be it tax exempt or taxable, would face a haircut of 90%, a significant reduction, but at the expense of 40 years for bonds A at 5.25% interest, exempt bonds B 47 years at 7% interest, and bonds B taxable 47 years for 8.75%. That's almost paying a home. So definitely that presents substantial risks in terms of future repayment of that public debt, quality of life in Puerto Rico, economic growth. The Puerto Rico Supervisory Oversight Board, better known as PROMESA Board, uses Rule 2019 of the bankruptcy law, which allows a judicial approval of this agreement, better known as the Restructuring Support Agreement, without yet coming to an adjustment plan for the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority. It will depend for the judge on the reasonability of this RSA, whereby it will not generate another bankruptcy, another debt default by the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, and that has not yet been demonstrated. Let me show you now what this transition charge will be required by this RSA. The chart depicts that from 2021 through 2044, that's 23 years, Puerto Rico will be paying a transition charge starting with 2.768 cents per kilowatt hour on top of the 21 cents per kilowatt hour on average that we have currently for the next 3 years through 2023. Then for the next 5 years, another increase, 2.957 cents per kilowatt hour, and thereafter increases every year until 2044 to 4.552 cents per kilowatt hour. That represents from 13 to 47% increase over the current price of electricity. And that's for the next 23 years. There are other analysts, one of them, Dr. Ramon Cao, estimated that the Puerto Rico economy will not be able to recover its rate of growth under any scenario with this transition charge, except under an alternate transition charge which he has proposed, but which requires that the haircut be substantially more than the 32.5%. He suggests that it should be at least 41%. He has estimated that if this RSA is approved, which will require legislation by the Puerto Rico legislature, because this in essence requires an exchange of the securitization of these bonds. So old bonds be exchanged for new bonds, not new money, new bonds, which have different guarantees and all the interest rate that I indicated and the duration. Well, if that is approved, he has estimated that Puerto Rico will be losing jobs from 67 to 68,000 jobs per annum from 2021 through 2024. Under the alternate scenario of that alternate charge that he is presenting, it implies, yes, job losses, but less only 4,400 in 2021, about 2,000 in 2022, 106 in 2023, and thereafter in 2024, there is an increase in jobs of almost 2,300 jobs. The RSA has underestimated, some of these analysts have said, underestimated the consumption of electricity, which means that the transition charge is overestimated. Some arguments in favor of the RSA is that it does restructure Puerto Rico's Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority debt, which is about 12% of Puerto Rico's total debt, public debt. Arguments against the RSA as that it causes, it does not help Puerto Rico's economic development or economic growth. On the contrary, it will be more negative, and we have been in 12 years recession now. It's in doubt the sustainability or the feasibility of that repayment of that debt as it is renegotiated. It's 40 to 47 years, which is added to our public debt. Quality of life is in danger, and definitely it wouldn't be no surprise that migration would intensify. Poor families would have to pay as much as 33% of their family income. And if there is an exemption of these poor families from this transition charge, it entails that the rest of us will be paying more than that transition charge. So in my opinion, the Judge Taylor Swain should revisit this RSA, not to eliminate it completely, but to recalibrate some of its assumptions to more realistic parameters of that will ensure positive economic growth for the island. And it sends a very powerful message that we need an economic plan that should be implemented as soon as possible. It's not a small task for 2020. Thank you.